So we won't be seeing second again this weekend. But my prediction of not seeing second again this season after that performance, I mean, somewhat on the ropes, but we move on to the next one. We live to fight another day. We remain top of the table for game week 8, whatever it is, still very early days. But boy, was that a chore to watch at times. I can't lie to you, come the end of it, you look at the stats, you're thinking it was another one of those games, a lot of chances being created, but it didn't feel like that. Come the end of it, when I saw 16 shots and 5 on target, it just didn't feel like a game where we was really applying enough pressure to say we deserve to win that. I think the game in the first half, especially Fulham, listen, we had the possession, Fulham had the moments. Now, we can argue amongst ourselves, amongst yourselves, about what really matters in a game. But, in that first 30 minutes in particular, Harry Wilson in particular, Gabriel sloppy on the ball, I was looking at it thinking, you know what? It's not looking right. The balance ain't looking right. The midfield from Fulham compact tight. They was, breaking everything down. Um, and they looked the bigger threat in the game. Listen, Fulham away, it's not an easy game. We haven't won there for a couple of years, and it's yet another game now, like against Newcastle, like against West Ham, where there's been cobwebs from the past couple seasons that we've managed to brush off and move forward from. It's a big win for us. Ultimately, the 3 points is all that matters. But you know, and listen, you lot know I'm enjoying watching the games with my son now, but he was struggling today. About 10, 15 minutes in, he just goes off to his table, decides to pull some paper out. I'm thinking, all right, let him do what he needs to do, because even I'm struggling right now. I might pull some paper and pens out and start drawing too. About 10 minutes later, I think 20, 25 minutes in, I just said, Zekai, like, you good? You're not watching the football? He said, no, I'm drawing, daddy. I said, what are you drawing? He said, Easter eggs. It's April. He must have been so bored. I don't know where he decided to just pull out paper, pull out felt tips, and start drawing Easter. And not only drawing them, he decides to start cutting them out in the second half too. And I get it. I understand. I nearly joined him. Nearly got my scissors out and started, Neil Buchanan art attack. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're probably too young. But it was a struggle, people. I'd like us to, play a bit better. But ultimately, the 3 points is all that matters. And ultimately, I've always said, if we win the league, if we get over the line, I don't care how we do it. But I've been saying that for the past few seasons now. So, this one, come on, Mikel, let's work it out. Now, I'm struggling to decide whether it was Fulham and how well they done, or it was us and remnants of early season. I say early season because going into the international break, Newcastle, Bilbao, even West Ham, we were a lot more fluid, open. In that first half, I was kind of missing Odegaard. And maybe not the Odegaard of the last 18 months, but the Odegaard of the last week before the international break, that's for sure. Coming on against Newcastle, against Bilbao. And listen, the first 30 against, I say 30, it's really 20 where he picked up the injury against West Ham. I think he was involved. I think he was creating enough chances to say, the 2 10s, 2 attacking 8 approach, it's looking good. Apologies. So I was kind of missing Odegaard in that first half. And that's nothing against Eze. I think Eze was struggling in that first half, but Fulham, the midfield, breaking everything down. At the end of that first half, I was looking at it thinking, maybe we move Eze out to the left and, take Trossard off and bring Nwaneri on. There's just something about Eze in that right 10 that it just doesn't hit like it hits when he picks up the ball more towards the left-hand side of the pitch. But yeah, listen, I spoke about the first 30 minutes. We started getting some chances after that. Listen, the Calafiori goal, I know it was disallowed, but I might as well mention it. What a strike. Beautiful finisher, Calafiori. I mean, I've seen enough now from him in terms of his finishing, in terms of his confidence, his striking ability to say, class. He's got the composure, he's got the technique, and it was a beautiful finish. He was just offside, he was just in front of the ball when Trossard played it. But when it went in, I thought we need this. But he also looked offside, and the liner put the flag up straight away, and you see it on the screen straight away. Regardless of the finish, it's still 0-0. And that didn't really spur us on at all. Like I said, the 30 minutes lapsed, and Fulham had the moments. We had the possession. The possession became greater and greater over the first half. Um, in terms of chances in that first half, I think Gyökeres, that was probably the best chance of the first half. Probably too tight of an angle to say he should have scored. I think it was a good shot. I think it was a good save. Um, but yeah, when it's a game like that, you need that to be nestling into the back of the net. You know, you need that to be nestling in. And to be honest with you, I think Fulham were there for the taking early on. I think Gyökeres a couple of times peeled off the last man, got the ball. There was a cut back in the first 5 minutes or so where no one followed him up. He didn't look up either. Maybe he could have been a bit more composed. Um, Maybe even with a shot on goal, he could have held it up, passed it back to Saka for an easy finish. But I get it. Striker out of form, not scoring, in a position to have a shot. You know, he hadn't had one before that. So I get it. But when it doesn't hit the back of the net, that's all that really matters. And it didn't hit the back of the net. Rice had a shot at the end of the first half, literally the end of the first half, that went wide. I won't say just wide. Calafiori had a volley around 40 minutes in, can't remember off the top of my head. Again, displaying his technique. He got over it well, was just over the bar. You know, it was straight central at the keeper. But yeah, first half ended better than it started, that's for sure. But it didn't end well enough for me to think, you know, the second half we're going to turn it up. Um, Mick Jagger was there. You know, they showed him in the crowd. I'm thinking we could do with some rock and roll now. It just felt like a opera, opera. But then again, even not, it felt like an opera without a crescendo, if that makes sense. The finale, the climax. That's what it felt like. You know, a lot of conducting, but none of that. I ain't been opera before, but I've seen it in movies. And when they do that, I mean, that's crescendo, finale, climax, and it just didn't feel like we were getting there in the first half. So yeah, it is what it is. I felt bring Ranieri on, like I said. Second half started better tempo. Trossard had a chance, he scuffed it wide. I said, nah, this guy might have to come off. Saka, good work, cleared off the line. I think he cut it back to someone. Gyökeres was ahead of the ball. Fulham defenders in a mix-up, and yeah, and ended up being cleared by Diop. I think Anderson came off injured in the first half, and I think he was enjoying that battle with Gyökeres more than Gyökeres was enjoying the battle with him. If I'm honest with you, I can only keep it honest, people. Yeah, Wilson had a volley. I was about to go in on the goal, but Wilson had a volley just before we scored. It was a nice cross from Bassi, I think it was. And yeah, Wilson had a volley just over, and then we scored. And from there, it was, listen, as much as Fulham had the moments, it was never really, oof, we got away with that one. You know, Wilson a couple of times went close, but every shot, you know, ended up just wide or maybe needed a bit of a fingertip. But the reality is, we was never really, you know, it's another clean sheet. That's 3 goals conceded in 11 now. I spoke of it in the match preview of, you know, them mentioning Arteta 3 goals in 10 being our best ever record over 10 games, the best record in Europe at the moment. That's crazy. I've seen some great defenses here, but long may that continue. You know, long may that continue. I think we're going to win the league if we can win it and also break that defensive record too, that those Chelsea fans like to keep mentioning. And, you know, those Chelsea fans, if you haven't seen it, people, London is Red, back your chat out now on the Big Six channel. Subscribe. There's a link in the description. And whilst you do that, there's a QR code on the screen. Scan it. Proton VPN. Come on. It's been a little while, people. International break. It doesn't stop there. Proton are still about. If you need a VPN, which you should need a VPN, and if you've got a VPN, your partner needs a VPN. Your son, daughter, uncle, mother, auntie, dad, whoever, friend, wrap a Proton VPN package up as a Christmas present this year. Do what you need to do. Get the QR code, scan it, link in the description. Over 15,000 servers available in hella countries, available where you are. I don't need to, you know, go through all the countries, people. If you scan it, if you click the link, it's available. Turkish LDN exclusive. Show Proton some love. You know what to do. And go over to Big Six, back your chat. But yeah, the goal came. The goal came, and it was set piece again. Ole, ole, as they say. You know, it was a relief. I'm not going to lie to you. Regardless, I don't care how it goes in. Just go in, just win the game, get the 3 points. And it was a big 3 points, especially come 45, 50, 55 minutes when you're thinking, we could do with a goal now. because Liverpool are going to beat United. I can enjoy the mob tomorrow. I can enjoy maybe the early nerves from Grizz, but as soon as Liverpool get that first goal, it's curtains. Chelsea, Liverpool. I had hope, I had faith, and it was paid back. Liverpool, United. There's no hope. There's no faith. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Big up Saeed in the building. So make sure you are there, people, tomorrow. The mob, 4 p.m. live, 4:30 kickoff. Yeah, come on, big six. Like I said, subscribe. But yeah, after that goal, I think Arteta took Eze off soon after, probably like 5 minutes after the goal, if I'm not mistaken. About 5 minutes after the goal, or around when the penalty incident happened. It looked like a penalty. He did touch the ball, but he went through Saka's leg to touch the ball. It's another one of those ones where you think, well, if you go through the man to touch the ball, surely it's a foul first. And yeah, probably. But it was so tight, razor thin in terms of Saka did get hit first, back of the knee, but it was literally the second motion was a tap on the ball. So I can understand, the more you look at it, the more you're urged to go check it. Your mind is kind of getting, sent to the other direction. So when you see those images, I knew that it was going to be cancelled out. At the same time, I had my fingers crossed. I need Gyökeres to get a goal, and yeah, he had a chance, which he done well with. You see, in the first half, when I said he done well with the chance, it was a tight angle. He took a shot. I get it. He made Leno make a good save. Understandable. The second half, the chance he had in the second half, because it was one chance in either half, really. The chance he had in the second half, where he done well, in bullying the defender a little bit, getting on the end of it in the box, taking it down in a good position to shoot. Now I know it's weaker foot, but come on, we need that on target. We need that in the net. And that was a poor moment from Gyökeres, in my opinion. In terms of, at the end of the day, my expectation of him is when you're in those positions, I'm either looking at it like the first chance you had in the first half where, okay, good shot, good save, understandable. I don't need to be looking at it like the one in the second half where it's, okay, you've done all the good work, but if it doesn't accumulate to at least me saying what a save from Leno, or what a block from the defender, then it's not good enough. It's not good enough. So it wasn't good enough. I'm sure he knows that. It's 3-8 now in the league. It's 3 and more across all competitions. I'm sure the rival fans are going mad on X about it right now, regardless of us being top. But whatever takes the attention away from that for them, I guess it is what it is. Let's just maintain that, people. We've got a good opportunity here. And that was it. There was a late double save from Leno. Gyökeres spun the defender well. There was a moment like that earlier on where he went down. Again, you could look at that and slow it down and say, kind of looks like a foul. But at the same time, you look at it and think Gyökeres could have stayed on his feet. But the second moment in the box, just like that, he done the same spin off the defender. Nice little move. Got a shot on target. Leno made a good save, and I think the follow up was even better where Martinelli probably should have buried it, but Leno, yeah, he made himself big enough. If Martinelli dinked it a little, I think he would have been celebrating his goal off the bench, and another moment off the bench for him. But it wasn't to be. 1-0 was the score. And to be honest, at the end of it, I know a few people on the Big Six predicted 2-0. Steve, Matisse, I think Saeed too. They already got a correct result this weekend. So 1-0 Arsenal. We all get a point. We all predicted a win. None of us got the correct score. We'll keep it moving. We're top of the league. They don't like that. They don't like that. As long as we keep it up, nothing to complain about. But yeah, we need to do better, people, performance-wise, that's for sure. Because yeah, it did feel like we got away with one overall. Another set piece. Slot ain't gonna be happy. But we move, people. Top of the league for another game week. Still early days. Still another 30 to go. Imagine that. Still very, very early. But we got a chance here. A chance we need to capitalize on by winning week in, week out up until that next international break. And in my opinion, then being a few points clear at the top. If we do what we need to do, I believe. Do you believe? Leave it in the comments. And again, thanks for the support, people. The match preview got a hella love. And my match previews don't normally get hella love, but I see it. I appreciate it. I love it. Still looking at the comments, still looking at the feedback, and slowly but surely, hopefully, you enjoy what's to come. What's to come? I told you, Big Six back your chat. It's out. The mob to come tomorrow. Loose Cannons podcast to come tomorrow. Releasing it before the Liverpool game. Usually we'll do it after because it all matters. I see the support from Liverpool fans, United fans, Chelsea fans in the comment section of Loose Cannons. So I'd like to get it all in game week wise before we go fully and talk about it, feelings, emotions, table, the reality. But tomorrow, unfortunately, we can't do that. But fortunately, we can still deliver it. So we will be back tomorrow, people. So show the same love you showed on the first one, on the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one, and for the rest of the season, people. Love for the love. I'll be back when I'm back. Peace. I'm out.